Hello everyone, I am Jayalekshmi M, Assistant Professor of School of Pharmacy, Rai University from the Department of Pharmacology Department. Today I am going to discuss the topic that is digestive system. So I am going to explain about the anatomy of digestive system. So what is digestive system? So before that I will explain, I will be explaining the introduction of GI tract and anatomy and the functions of your digestive system. So what is digestive system? The digestive system is a group of organs. Actually it is, you can say like it is a long elongated system, and it is a group of organs that work together to break down food, absorb nutrients and eliminate the waste. So here you can see the structure, this structure, or you can say the real digestive system, and it starts from the oral cavity, and here you can see the esophagus, and there one more tube is there, that is trachea. Trachea will open towards the respiratory system. So the digestive system begins from here, and the stomach you can see, the accessory organs like liver, pancreas and gallbladder you can see, and the small intestine, large intestine, rectum and the anus. So this is the normal, you can say like the entire parts of the digestive system. So the alimentary canal, our digestive system, you can say it is divided into two types: alimentary canal and the accessory organs. The alimentary canal includes, it starts from the oral cavity, esophagus, before that larynx and pharynx also there. So it is moving or it allowing entry of food materials into the stomach. From the stomach there will be digestion with hydrochloric acid, even you can say like a chemical digestion. And next, once the bolus converted into chyme, it will enter to the small intestine, large intestine, stores in the rectum, and the undigested food eliminates. So this is the normal procedure. So next, here you can see gastroenterology. The gastroenterology is the medical specialty which is about the study of digestive system and digestive system related disorders, that you can call it as gastroenterology. And the gastroenterologist is the specialist who can treat your condition. And proctology is the specialty which deals with the diagnosis and the treatment of disorders of rectum and anus. You can call it as the proctology. And the organs of the gastrointestinal tract are the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and the anus. Okay. And the accessory organs are also very important. The accessory organs are mainly four are there: the salivary gland, and the pancreas, gallbladder and your liver are the accessory organs. Even the teeth also sometimes we call it as the accessory organs. So what are the functions of digestive system? Of course, the first of all you can see the injection. So through the oral cavity the food enters to the mouth, and there will be the mechanical digestion with the help of tongue and even teeth. It will crush the food into small and it grinds and enters to the esophagus. Next is secretion. There are a lot of secretions are there, like the gastric juices and even the endocrine hormones or exocrine hormones. Endocrine, that means there are few hormones are there, insulin and insulin and somatostatin. One more is the glucagon. This is also being a slight part of your digestive system. Next, mixing and propulsion. Mixing means the food materials which you have taken will mix with the digestive enzymes and even the acid. And the propulsion means the movement of food particle. For example, the chyme or the bolus which are moving, that is propulsion. And digestion, there are two types of digestion are the mechanical digestion and even the chemical digestion. Mechanical means with the you can say like tongue or even the teeth, they actually help for the mechanical digestion, which with the force the food materials will be crushed and mixes, it enters to the digestive system. Next, in the stomach there are acids and other rest of the enzymes are there which help for the chemical digestion. So absorption. So of absorption means the absorption, you already know there are many types of absorptions are there, diffusion process are there, passive, active, you have already studied, I guess. So the absorption will occur, that will be in the small intestine and even the large intestine, even from the mouth also few of the materials which are absorbing. And defecation. The defecation is the last part or the last function of your digestive system which help for the undigested food which eliminate through the anus. That process is defecation. And yeah, so what are the food molecules and the chemical digestion? So here you can see these are the things we can say like a carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid. These are need to undergo chemical reaction. For example, the enzymes are there. Carbohydrates will absorb only with the presence of amylase enzyme, and the proteins will break down only with the help of pepsin or the proteases enzyme, and the lipids will break down only with the help of fatty acids, and the nucleic acid like DNA, RNA has to undergo the breakdown by the help of nucleases enzyme. But there are still of many some vitamins are there, or you can say like some things which doesn't need to undergo any chemical digestion. For example, vitamins, minerals, water and cholesterol, that doesn't need any kind of mechanic digestion. I mean, there is no need of enzyme reaction. It will undergoes without any enzyme action, it will be absorbs. So next you can see the alimentary canal, same thing I have told you. So there is oral cavity, that means your mouth, and the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and the anus. Through the mouth it enters, it begins from the mouth, the food you had taken, and with the help of amylase enzyme, there you can see the salivary gland. Salivary gland is secreting an enzyme, that is amylase enzyme, which break down your carbohydrates, and there are rest of the enzyme which are present in your stomach area, and there is acid. With the help of acid some other enzymes will be activated. And the accessory organs includes the salivary glands which is present in your facial part, and liver, gallbladder, pancreas. The functions and their structure I will explain in the coming slide. And here we can see the layers of our digestive system. So the outer layer of our digestive system, that will be the serosa, and the second layer is muscularis. The muscularis will help for the contraction and the relaxation, and inside we have submucosa and the mucosa. Again I will clearly show you. Here we can see the outer layer, that is serosa, and the second layer is muscularis. The muscularis, there we can see the ENS, enteric nervous system, with the plexus, myenteric plexus and even the submucosal plexus, and the inner layer is the submucosa, and the very inside you can see the mucosa. Because of this mucosal layer, the HCl is not attacking our digestive cells. And yeah. So enteric nervous system. What is enteric nervous system? In the nervous system, we have studied about the peripheral nervous system, central nervous system, right? So under that autonomic nervous system, there is one more system is there, that is enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system which is regulating our digestive system. So there is two plexus are there, those are the nerves. One is myenteric plexus and the second one is submucosal plexus. The myenteric plexus are responsible for the contraction and the relaxation of your stomach and even the small and large intestine you can say, and even the submucosal plexus which are present in the submucosal area and which is responsible for the mucosal secretion. And here we can see the structure. So I guess you already have studied about the nervous system in the peripheral nervous in the peripheral nervous system and even the cranial nerves. Cranial nerve, the cranial nerve 10 is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is regulating our digestive system. So here you can see the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve has the elongated nerves which is regulating your entire digestive system, and it is here the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system is regulating your entire digestive system. So the structure you can see the enteric nervous system, which helps regulate GI function through reflex pathways like sensory receptors like chemoreceptors and the stretch receptors, detecting food and stretching in the GI tract. So which detect everything, even if any chemical entered, and even whatever the things, whatever the changes which happen or entered in your body, it detects and it will try to resolve. And upper digestive system. The digestive system is divided into two types. So, alimentary canal and even the accessory organs. In the alimentary canal, there are upper digestive system and the lower digestive system. So, from the mouth till the stomach area, it comes under the upper digestive system, and below the stomach, these are the lower digestive system. For example, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus, these are the lower digestive system. And the lower digestive system, you can see small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus are the parts of lower digestive system. Let's start with the mouth. So, mouth is the beginning of everything. So, the mouth is the first part of the digestive system, which consists of tongue, your teeth and even the salivary glands. And here you can see the teeth, the molar teeth, premolar teeth, canine teeth and the incisors. So here you can see the entire teeth structure and the structure of the teeth and three types of teeth you can see. So let's start with the salivary glands. There are three types of salivary glands are there. The first one is parotid glands, submandibular and the sublingual. So there are two types of salivary glands are there. Small salivary gland and the big salivary glands. The small means like a very less minute type, like you can say like a very lightly they are secreting the salivary glands. And in the case of major salivary glands, the parotid gland, submandibular glands and the sublingual glands are there. So here we can see the structure, the parotid glands which located here, and the submandibular you can see here under the tongue area, and the sublingual will be here, like sublingual you have studied that in the pharmaceutic subject. And this recently discovered one more salivary gland is discovered very recently, that is tubercle salivary glands which is located here. And what are the types of salivary glands? Same, the parotid gland and submandibular glands and the sublingual. Parotid gland secreting watery fluid which is in the salivary amylases, and the submandibular which is producing thicker with the fluid of amylase enzyme and it has mucus, that is why it is thicker, and sublingual very little bit and it will be very thick. And your salivary glands function which helps for the dissolving the food, and for it helps for the digestion and even the taste. And you have studied in the tongue gustatory system, there is, if H plus is there, it has different taste. If it has alkaloid which gives a bitter taste, so you have studied that also. And the saliva has 99.9% of saliva, rest are 0.5% are the solutes with the amylase enzyme. And what are the components? It has water, ions and even the enzyme organic substances. So you can see the components of the salivary glands. And next goes to pharynx. So the pharynx, here you can see the pharynx structure. The pharynx actually has three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. So nasopharynx you can see in the nasal cavity, and the oropharynx is the you can say like it is a common passage for your trachea and even the esophagus, that is your oropharynx, and the pharynx, that esophagus part you can see the laryngopharynx. So this is the path which allowing the food to enter into the stomach area. Next, esophagus. The esophagus is an elongated tube, you can see. It is an elongated tube, and esophagus is a hollow muscular tube that is connected with your stomach, which allowing the food to or the bolus to enter into the stomach. And here you can see two sphincters are there. So first one is here you can see upper esophageal sphincter and the lower esophageal sphincters, which is allowing the food to enter into the esophagus and which allowing the to enter into the stomach. So lower is for that. And next diagram you can see the structure of stomach. The stomach is the last part of lower digestive system, and there you can see the acid secretions which HCl, and there is a layers also which help for the, you can say like it is a mixer, it is grinding there, and there is continuous contraction and the relaxation. It is actually a muscular kind of organ only with made of smooth tissues, and the stomach has, here you can see the lower esophageal sphincters which are opening, and here you can see the part that is fundus, here you can see the cardia, and this is the body part, and here you can see the antrum and even the pylorus. Pylorus part is opening towards the duodenum. The duodenum is the beginning part of the small intestine. So here you can see the stomach. Yeah, here in this JIF you can see the contraction. Your stomach contracts like this, and the stomach has J shape, and it has the layers of course, and it has digestive enzymes also. So here you can see the clear image. So if you cross section or a stomach part, you can see it same like this, exactly same. And the historical layers, of course the mucosa, the innermost layer, second is the submucosa muscularis, and the outer is the serosa, and the functions which is storing the food for around 2 to 4 hours, and mechanical digestion, of course it is occurs in your stomach part, and chemically it is digesting the protein. So there is one enzyme that is proteases or pepsinogen you can say. So with the help of HCl, the pepsinogen will convert or activate in the form of pepsin, and the pepsin will helps to breaking down of the proteins, and it is killing the bacteria, and the acidic pH is maintaining, and which controlling the release of food into the small intestine. And what are the gastric secretion? So gastric secretion, there you can see the hydrochloric acid which is very essential for the activation of pepsin and even digestion, and the pepsinogen is the inactive enzyme, and it is secreted by chief cell, mucus secreted by mucous cells and the goblet cells, and intrinsic factors for it is secreting from the parietal cells. Gastrin is stimulating, it is help for the stimulation of gastric acid secretion. And small intestine, the small intestine is the first part of your lower digestive system, and there you can see few layers, or sorry, few parts you can see. It begins with the duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So there are three parts of small intestine are there. The first one is duodenum, the second one is jejunum, and the third one is, or the last part of your small intestine, that is ileum. And here you can see the structure with the large intestine. This structure, this is the large intestine, and the small intestine is the primary site for digestion. For the digestion of there will be absorption also. Once the acid mixing and the enzyme mix with the stomach, it will enter to the small intestine, and in the duodenum part there are our accessory organs. So the accessory organs releases biles and enzymes, so there will be mixing again, and there will be propulsion, and there will be digestion. Once the digestion completed, the carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, everything will be absorbed from the small intestine. And the anatomy and the dimension, the diameter of the small intestine is around 2.5 centimeter, and the length will be, the living human is having around 3 meter, and in the case of cadaver means the person is not even living, like alive, the person is died, that you can call it as cadaver. It's a medical term for the dead body. So cadaver will be like, actually here you can see it is relaxed, the hollow organ, the hollow parts actually relaxed, so that is why it will be around 6.5 centimeter. So here you can see the difference, because of relaxation of your smooth tissue, there will be size change. And parts of small intestine, it's begin with the duodenum, and here you can see it is around 25 centimeter, and the second part is jejunum, it will be around 2.5 centimeter. It actually depends on person to person, and ileum has around 3.6 centimeter. So here you can see there will be the different types of absorption also occurring, and the functions are digestion, absorption, immunity and motility. And I would like to explain one more thing here, our gut health. For the gut health, there are microbiomes are present. So there are many bacteria and enzymes are there which are good for our digestive system, which are maintain our gut health. So the immunity, the entire things which is depend on this. And one more thing you need to remember, our digestive system we are commonly calling as the second brain. Okay, so let's move on to the large intestine. So here almost the absorption is completed. Next, the chyme part will move towards the large intestine, and the large intestine also having different parts. So it begins from the here from cecum it start. So this is the ascending colon, and this is the transverse colon, and here you can see the descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum and the anus. So the colon part is divided into 4 types: ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon and the sigmoid colon. So once the colon completes, or next there will be rectum. Rectum is the part where the undigested food will is stored, and once the reflex action start from your brain or enteric nervous system, when it gives the response, according to that there will be defecation process begins. So what are the functions of large intestine? The large intestine is the major part where the water and the electrolytes will be absorbed. So there will be absorption of water, and the sodium ions is all will be absorbed from your large intestine. In the small intestine there will be rest of carbohydrates, proteins, all will be absorbed from the small intestine. The water, minerals, everything will be absorbed from your large intestine, and rest if it is missed to absorb from the small, it will be absorbed from the large intestine. Next, fermentation of the undigested food and production of vitamins, there will be absorption, everything will happen in the large intestine, and even the defecation also begins from there. So rectum, the rectum is the part where the undigested food will be stored, and it stores the feces, triggering the defecation. So that are the major functions of the rectum, and it lies in the pelvic cavity. So in abdominal pelvic cavity you can see the rectum, and here you can see the function, anus. So the last part of your digestive system, that is anus. So the anus is there you can see sphincters also, and there are 2 types of anal sphincters are the external sphincter and even the internal sphincter. So the internal sphincter actually involuntary, and in the case of external anal sphincter it is voluntary and made up of skeletal muscle. So it is voluntary, and here you can see this function, there will be elimination of waste, the defecation process, and it is preventing involuntary defecation. For the case of babies, it will take time, like around 2 years, 2.5 years, the defecation will be formed in the normal voluntary condition. Or next, here you can see the structure. So the internal sphincter will be here, here, and the external sphincter will be here, and you can see the structure. And accessory digestive organs. In the accessory digestive organs, there is liver, the pancreas and even the gallbladder. The pancreas actually helps for the digestion, and the liver will secreting the bile juices, and once the bile juice produced, it will enter to the gallbladder, and in the gallbladder it will be stored, concentrated, and when it is allowing or there will be signaling in that case, so the alimentary canal is completed. Next we are having the accessory organs. The accessory organs includes salivary glands, pancreas, gallbladder and the liver. So here you can see the structure. The liver, the green color is indicating the gallbladder, pancreas is the, and which is helping for our digestion. And here you can see the structure of the pancreas. So we can start with the pancreas. The pancreas is the, you can say it has both the exocrine and even the endocrine function. So the pancreas is a vital organ which is located in the abdomen and behind the stomach, which help for digestion and even the endocrine function. In the endocrine system, you might have studied that the endocrine system, like it helps for the secretion of insulin, somatostatin and even the glucagon. And here in the exocrine function in the digestive system, there are 99% of the acinar cell. These acinar cells are secreting few of the juices, like even the gastrin also secreted by pancreas, which help for the digestion. So here you can see the structure of the pancreas. In the structure of pancreas, which opening the head, you can see neck, the body part and the tail part, and which is opening towards the duodenum. And the same time, the green line, you can see the green line is for the from the gallbladder, and it is connected with the liver. And here you can see the structure again. It's like for the detail purpose I have demonstrated here. The pancreatic duct and the axillary duct. The pancreatic duct is the larger one, which is opening towards the common bile duct to form the hepatopancreatic ampulla. So there is a common passages here, so which is actually opening towards the duodenum. Next, the liver. The liver, you already have studied about the liver is a regenerative organ in our body and which help for the detoxification. So the liver is the largest internal organ. Remember, the largest organ is different, that is skin. Here the largest internal digestive organ, or you can say like internal organ, largest internal organ, that is liver, and which is located in the right upper abdomen. The right part you can see the liver, and just below to the diaphragm from the respiratory system. So you can see the liver, which mainly help by secreting bile juice. Once the bile juice secreted, it will enters to the gallbladder. In the gallbladder, it will stores and it will be concentrated. Whenever our body needs, the stomach needs, or stomach gives signal, that case it will releases into the duodenum. So what are the roles of your bile production? So first of all, the bile production will be the, it occurs, it is actually the yellowish greenish fluid which releases into the gallbladder, and the functions which help for the emulsification of the fat in the small intestine, which breaking down the large cholesterol part or the globule part, and which increases the surface area for pancreatic lipids to act, and even for the absorption of vitamin A, E, D, K are by the bile juice. And here you can see the structure of the liver, and liver is connected with the gallbladder. So gallbladder will be storing, and here you can see, this is the liver part, and which is opening, and the bile juice will enter to the gallbladder, and it will stores, and when it record, it will releases into the duodenum. What is gallbladder? So gallbladder is the part which is connected with your liver, and it is storing the major function of the gallbladder, that is to store the bile juice. So gallbladder is a small pear-shaped sac which is located beneath the liver on its underside, and through small it plays an important role in fat digestion. Mainly the function of the bile juice is for the digestion of fat, and which is storing, releasing, and whenever it record, it will be releases into the duodenum. So here you can see it is for the fatty meals, and here you can see it is stores here, and it will be concentrated by the time, and it will be releases bile duct. So it's very simple here. Common hepatic duct you can see, and it is connected with the liver. Liver will releases the bile juice, it will enters through the common hepatic duct into the gallbladder, and the bile will be stores, and whenever the outflow will start, it will releases through the common duct into the duodenum. And bile ducts you can see here, the stomach and the duodenum, and the green color, of course, that is actually indicating from the gallbladder, and the pancreas also releasing or opening into the same pathway. And the regulation of the acid secretion actually has three parts: cephalic regulation, gastric regulation, and the third one is the intestinal regulation. So cephalic means by smelling, by hearing, or by thinking, the brain will give the signal, or your body will start secreting gastric juice. That will be around 30% of the gastric secretion, and the cephalic phase will be 60% once the food enters into the stomach, and the intestinal phase means once the food enters into the intestinal part, around remaining 10% acid secretion will be begin. And so the mediators: acetylcholine, gastrin, histamine, somatostatin, secretin, and cholecytokinin, and their sources are here and their effects, so which is stimulating or the inhibiting, which I have included in this table. And yeah, thank you. Hope this lecture will be useful for you in the future. So the anatomy I have completed here for the case of physiology. Maybe if in the future I will be discussing the physiology. Anyway, thank you.